I almost lost it when my nephew told me he filed his taxes with Cash App. I didn't even know Cash App did taxes. And I get it. He's young. It's his first time filing taxes, and it seemed like the simple way to do things. But it blew my mind a little bit. Like, who does that? The reality is, a lot of people do it. And it's evidence of a reality that you're already aware of. The tax-paying populace may not be as educated as we'd like, and they don't know what they don't know. So how do you sell tax prep services in this world? How do you compete with, TurboTax or H&R Block? How do you compete with, if you have one of these, you probably do in your area, free tax prep from a local government body or an organization? How do you compete with that? How do you sell against that? Well, we're going to talk about it. And this video should be much longer than it's going to be, but we're going to keep it brief, move pretty quickly. But these points are important, and I believe that they'll be helpful for you. Now, let me come back quickly to the educational piece. The taxpayers aren't as educated as we'd like. It's both a challenge and an opportunity. So they don't know what they don't know, but that means you can educate them. So they're prone to making decisions that aren't necessarily the best they're not in their best interest, but you can teach them and help them to make better choices. Now, they don't know what they don't know, which means many cases they don't know that there's free tax prep out there. But even if they do know that, even if they're aware of it, free tax prep is not something you need to be scared of. Because even though you can't compete on price, you can't do better than free. Not if you want to stay in business. But paying your fee is less of a problem than you may think, because of a cognitive bias called present bias, or you might consider it hyperbolic discounting, which in plain English means if the benefit that I get now weighs more, it's more important to me than the cost later, or you know what I'm saying. So paying later when I'm getting my refund, it doesn't matter to me that much as long as I don't have to pay today. So free tax prep today, and fee-based tax prep, but I don't have to pay until I'm getting money back anyway. They're closer than it seems like. Even if there's a couple $100 of difference in fee, I don't have to pay it now, and it's going to come out of money that's mine, coming my way anyhow. It's still going to come out on top of this deal. So competing on price isn't necessarily the problem. And I'm not advocating that you go out and try to be the cheapest option out there, or even cheaper than your peers. It's not necessarily the most important thing because of present bias. Okay, so be aware of that. Now, how do you compete with like an H&R Block? My best advice is this: sell against them, meaning you need to spend a good amount of time highlighting the shortcomings of what they do and the difficulties of their offer, in addition to talking about the benefits of working with you. So, and it's ideal whenever possible to tell it in story form. So, for example, let's talk about these free tax people, right? What are the shortfalls of that? It's free, sure, but it says on that paper on a first come, first served basis. You can imagine the potential of there being a long line or a crowd of people who want this service, and you might have to wait all day to save a little bit of money. Do you want that? No, it's inconvenient. You have to go wherever they are and potentially wait in line. That's a shortfall. And you could, if you have a story about that, well, you don't necessarily have a story about that, but you can have a story about the smooth process of getting service done by you, getting tax prep done by you, so that it's convenient and comfortable for people to do, easy, right? What about H&R Block? Here's something that you could sell against. They have a large percentage of their employees are seasonal workers. If you're getting your taxes prepared in February, a lot of these people just started learning taxes for the first time, learning taxes in January, right? Or maybe December. Now, many of these people are smart. Many of these people care about taxes, but many of them also are just looking for a seasonal job. They're looking for a money-making opportunity, and they don't love tax. They're not trying to be tax experts. They're really just learning the system and whatever particular things in the training that they had to know, bare minimum. Let's be honest. And do you want your tax preparer to be equipped in that way? Or do you want someone who really knows the tax law? They're really, they know the questions to ask, the things to look for, so that you get a thorough, comprehensive job done. Or just someone who's clicking boxes, you know. And at H&R Block, for example, they're like a restaurant in a way. They're trying to get you through as fast as possible. They don't have time to spend with you, or they don't necessarily have the personal touch. They're not gonna. That's not their goal. And so you can tell stories about that. About you can finding things that H&R Block missed the previous year, or someone who got a second opinion. Finding things that nobody else would have found, you know, things that TurboTax they would have been way too hard to find it. Telling stories like that, showcasing, I know how to deal with challenging situations, with sophisticated returns, right? I know the specifics of, if you're in a specific industry that has unique tax things going on, I know about those things in a way that generalized tax prep software or, you know, big box services just don't. These are generalists, and they're cool for what they are. They don't have this in-depth knowledge. They don't have all day to spend with you. And so when you're telling these stories, highlighting convenience, highlighting your niche expertise, highlighting your history of finding things that others may not be able to find, you can tell these stories to position yourself against. You know, it's not just about the benefits that you give. It's about what the other people can't give. Because remember, as we talked about in part 1 of this video, people aren't buying tax prep. There's not you know, they know that they need it. They're mostly just looking for convenience. They're looking to, if you get the obstacles out of the way, that, you know, you're easy to find, easy to access, or you have a personal relationship through referral or through retention. That's what they want. And so that also highlights, as you're selling, and before you're selling, you should be always working on personal relationships where you can. For your previous clients, make them feel special. Send them a birthday card. Send them an anniversary card. These things, it doesn't seem like it matters, but it does. Make them feel special. Make them feel known and seen by you. And you'll be surprised at the retention rate that you can achieve. And the referrals that they'll make, they'll just say, oh man, my tax guy, that's my guy. You know, he always remembers my birthday, you know, etc. So work on the relationships and work on affinity if you can. For example, if you work with 6 people in a bowling league, you know, on a bowling team, say there's 12 people on the bowling team. If you work with 6 of them, it's like, this is what the team does. Have everybody should do it. New people on the team, they should do it. Other teams in the league, maybe they should do it as well. And so look for opportunities to land and expand on personal relationships and leverage those. If you have some personal, you know, characteristic, you're in a group, sorority, fraternity, whatever, you can leverage that as well. I say leverage, I don't mean to make it sound, you know, crass, but you should be the obvious choice to help people who are in your group. That's my person. That's my in group. And so if I got to choose somebody, I might as well be with my people, be with my, you know, people who have values aligned with me, or they're in the same group as I am, etc. So affinity matters, relationship matters. So also, you know, in addition to birthday cards and things, when you're talking about previous clients, if you send a monthly newsletter, it maintains a relationship, or more frequently, whatever frequency you like. But staying in front of people, providing value on a regular basis, it really matters when it comes time, not just at tax time. So again, there's a lot that we could cover here, and I should make another video about other tax services, selling those, because it's different you do have to sell bookkeeping in a way that you don't have to with tax prep. So I hope this has been helpful, though, and use these tactics. If you have other good ones, feel free to share them below, and we'll keep talking about this and help you stand out, help you sell in this world.